I absolutely want to be today to watch this eclipse. It's just, the options are just astronomical. Anywhere you go really is going to be a great spot to be.
Well, what about the Cleveland Museum of Natural History in Wade Oval? That might be a good place to watch as well. That's where we find our Colton Waleski.
You mentioned how much fun everybody's having. I'm having a lot of fun already at Total on the Oval. You can see all of the folks over the last couple hours. This is really filled up because there are so many activities, from all of the booths to we have telescopes out here. We have a stage where they're giving all sorts of presentations. Lots of ways that people can learn more about the science behind an eclipse. And speaking of the science, there's also a lot of astronomers who are here. Senior astronomer Nick Anderson is joining us, and you are walking people through the science behind these eclipses. Tell people what they can expect from some of those speakers.
Yeah, so we, the astronomy team at the museum, we're going to be hopping on stage and giving a series of presentations. The first one covers a lot of the basics, the alignment that's happening out in space today, what that means for all of us here on the Earth. The second is going to be all about viewing methods. Of course, the top priority here is going to be sun safety. And then the third one is really setting expectations for the lead up to and during totality, which is the most awe-inspiring part of the eclipse.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and you've also been walking people through these telescopes back here. What are you showing people right here?
Yeah, so I think our big goal here today with our observing station was to have a lot of different options. So we have eclipse glasses, we have shade number 14 welder's glass for direct viewing. They also have 3 different telescopes set up. One is projecting an image of the sun. A lot of people can see that image of the sun all simultaneously. Then we have a fairly large telescope with a big solar filter viewing the sun in white light. And then our pride and joy there, a hydrogen alpha telescope that shows just an incredible amount of detail on the sun.
Fantastic. Well, we'll be taking a look at that as well as some of the booths. I know it's not a telescope, but I have my glasses ready to go. I'm ready for the eclipse. It starts at 1:59, that peak totality at 3:15, and then I'll finish out at 4:20. And we'll be here live throughout all of that. We'll have all sorts of stuff coming up. We'll have other speakers that we'll be talking with. We have some folks that have already been coming up with us, telling us how far away. The furthest away so far is Washington, D.C. as far as drive time for the folks here, so we'll be talking with some of the people enjoying the eclipse with us here as well. In Cleveland, Colton Waleski, 19 News.